Let's play Spot the Difference. Go on. It's absolutely outrageous.
So people, let's talk a little bit about shrinkflation. I just went to Tesco and get these ones, one of my favorite snacks.
Shrinkflation. Do you know what that is? No, it's not when I come out of a cold lake. It's when companies of all different industries, it could be health and wellness, food for example, become greedy.
This is why bags of crisps aren't usually see-through. Look at the state of this, bloody hell. Where's the rest of Bombay mix?
These cookies used to be the size of Jupiter. Cannot be legal. This is shrinkflation in action.
Poundland, why are you advertising a 20-pack of plastic cups when there's like 17 in them?
So they make millions in profits, but they still need to cut costs and rip us off and just get away with it like nothing's happened.
Either I'm becoming a giant more than I am already, or everything in London is becoming smaller.
They now come in a pack of 4 instead of a pack of 5 and a £1.45, whereas they used to be £1.20 for 5. Wow.
It's always, we've had to reduce the pack size of 6 slices of ham down to 5 and increase the price, and never will have to just accept that we're not making as much money anymore. Because the only thing that matters in the UK is if the big corporations get their profits.
Welcome back to Broken Britain, where just about everything is shrinking, apart from the price tags. Whether it's a bag of crisps, your favourite chocolate bar, or even a loo roll, shrinkflation is everywhere. We're all paying the same, if not more, for less. And let's be honest, companies are banking on the fact that we won't clock the difference. They'll brush it off as just business. Let's call it what it really is, a quiet rip-off. Sneaking higher prices into our daily lives while we're already struggling with one of the toughest cost of living crises in years. This episode of Brit Rants is taking on the shrinkflation shakedown, and trust me, TikTok's got plenty to say about it. So if you're fed up with getting less for your money every time you hit the shops, hit that subscribe button. Let's dive in and call out the supermarket swindle together.
Let's play Spot the Difference. Go on. It's absolutely outrageous. You ready for the answer? Look at the difference in how many there are. This is a prime example of shrinkflation. Let me explain it super quick. You've probably seen all the news about inflation, which is just a measure of the rising costs of everything around you. Shrinkflation, however, is where a product stays the same price but decreases its size, just like the penguin biscuits I just showed you. But they aren't the only culprits. Digestives, 9.5% smaller. Magnum ice creams, 9.1% smaller. Quality Street, 7.7% smaller. And probably the worst one of all, Lurpak, 20% smaller. So make sure you watch out for this when you go and shop, and look out for the price per gram, as this will show you if you're getting less for your money.
Either I'm becoming a giant more than I am already, or everything in London is becoming smaller. The other day I ordered a flat white, and the next day I ordered an espresso, and tell me why it came in the same cup. I opened a bag of crisps and get hit with turbulence like I was on an EasyJet. The cookie pack from Sainsbury's, the 4 cookies, it looked like they were on Ozempic. This is becoming ridiculous, guys, and I'm tired. I'm tired of paying more for less.
Let's see what the shrinkflation is like at Tesco. Dairy Dunkers for $1.75 looks good until you realise they only have 3 in the pack when they used to have 4. You get a lot of these £1 or 95p sweet bags, and you can see there's just barely anything in there compared to the original bags. This is a cheap pack of 6 McCoys, however each bag is only 25 grams. However, a regular sized bag of McCoys is 45 grams, almost double. These refrigerators are ridiculous. You get 5 in this bag, however each little packet is only 22.5 grams. There's barely anything in there, it's mainly air. You get like 5 bites. Remember crispy rolls? You can get a bar of this for 45p with a club card, or 55p otherwise. And then you get these Mars bars and these Snickers multi-packs, 4 of them. Each bar is only 39 grams, that's tiny. And then this has become the standard size for a quote-unquote big chocolate bar, 90 grams for $1.50.
Tesco's, you're on blast. Look at the size of this cookie, man. This is the size of a single one of my retinas. These cookies used to be the size of Jupiter. Cannot be legal. This is shrinkflation in action. Hide your kids, hide your wife. I'm about to riot. I demand a full refund of the £1.40 I spent on this 5-pack of cookies. Tesco, balls in your court.
Shrinkflation. Do you know what that is? No, it's not when I come out of a cold lake. It's when companies of all different industries, it could be health and wellness, food, for example, become greedy. They take advantage of their devout customers loving their products by now manufacturing the same product with less actual product in the packaging, but still charging you more for it. They're hoping you don't notice because it helps their bottom line. The bottom line is people are struggling to get by these days. More and more people are finding it difficult to afford shelter and food. What companies have you noticed charging more but giving you less product? I want to know.
Aye, since flipping when? Say you flipping swear. What do you mean £1 for a freckle? Nah, first I'm seeing guys are holding people hostage in Lewisham. Now I'm seeing this. That's how you know this country's cooked. Bro, back in the day, this thing was going for 17p. This was a nation's favorite. Where did it all go wrong? I'll be real, I should have known this country is cooked from when I started seeing shops selling this for £2 when it used to be £1, bro. And even from when I started seeing shops selling this for £1 when it used to be 59p. I remember them days very clearly. And even from when I started seeing gourmet premium meal deals for £5.50. What's the difference? Oh, the sandwich has a silver wrapper around it. And you'd think at least with all these price rises that at least we're getting more money, right? Wages have gone up, right? Bro, did this. This was from 2008, right? Cool. When Freddos used to be 17p, when meal deals used to be around £3, maybe even less, but I hate. Look where we are! We're barely even making any more!
I don't think there's a person on the planet that hasn't talked about the shrinking of the celebration stub. But let's see this in real life. 2011 is the expiry on this box. 2022 is the expiry on this box. 2025 is the expiry on this box. Brother, look at this. It's a tiered cake. This is a celebrations wedding cake at this point in time. Are you taking the piss?
So people, let's talk about a little bit about shrinkflation. I just went to Tesco and get these ones, one of my favorite snacks. And then I noticed something a bit different. We have new packaging. Yes, new one. It even says out here, with new paper tray. So we are saving the planet. And if we take a look at them, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But if you remember the old packaging, and I bet you can buy it somewhere, they used to be 9. There used to be plastic packaging with 3 separate departments on each of them. There were 3 of them. And if we look back of the box, so yeah, back of the box, it says right here, 8 biscuits. Same price, 8 biscuits. New packaging.
It's always, we'll have to put 40 grams less Ritz crackers in the box, and not, we'll have to accept making a little less profit for our shareholders this year. It's always, we've had to reduce the pack size of 6 slices of ham down to 5 and increase the price, and never, we'll have to just accept that we're not making as much money anymore. Because the only thing that matters in the UK is if the big corporations get their profits, ever increasing profits year after year, because the shareholders are the most important people in the world, not the people that actually have to buy or eat the products or drink the water. On the subject of water, not a lot of people actually understand what has happened with our water system. What happened was Margaret Thatcher and her cronies sold it off to private capital at much less than it was actually worth. The people that had the capital got rich overnight. Generational wealth was created overnight when they bought the water companies. And then what they did, they weren't happy with just buying them. They then leveraged our water companies up to their eyeballs in debt, hundreds of millions of pounds worth of debt borrowed against the business, and then structured their business in such a way that they could dividend out most of that to the shareholders. They extracted all of the value that was in those businesses and left the customers paying the debt. Similar story with Royal Mail. I remember they got hedge fund managers in to help the government value Royal Mail, and then gave those hedge fund managers priority access to buy shares in the business before they were released to the general public, to retail investors. And of course, they valued it at about half, about £3 or something. It shot up to 6 or 7 overnight. The hedge funds and private capital doubled their money overnight, fortunes made overnight. And of course, they structured the deal whereas the taxpayer would continue to fund the loss-making part of Royal Mail, and the institutional investors and private capital got to buy the profitable part. Fast forward a few years, and the people that own Royal Mail are now saying, oh, look, it's not really sustainable for us to keep this level of service. You know, we might have to stop collecting on certain days or stop delivering on certain days. We might have to reduce the level of service we can offer. The whole neoliberal Tory experiment has gutted the UK and left us in debt with a worse quality of life, suffering the effect of worse services at the mercy of corporations that only care about profits.
If you thought your shopping bags were feeling a little lighter, could be because more and more products are getting smaller. Mouthwash, tea bags and sausages are among the supermarket staples that have been downsized, thanks to so-called shrinkflation. The manufacturers look to cut costs.
Oh, God. So they make millions in profits, but they still need to cut costs and rip us off and just get away with it like nothing's happened. So basically, shrinkflation means your products get made smaller, but they charge more. So no, they're not reducing the costs, they're making them smaller and they're going to charge you more. So for example, this bunch of bananas, say it costs 50p, they'll take 2 bananas out of it and charge you 70p. More and more companies and more products are going to get onto this because they're thinking, it's not a bad idea that. Just another little thing to rip us off, to take more money off us, to piss us off. It's like council tax. Council tax this year has risen again to the maximum it can. But guess what? You're getting reduced services. So you're paying more for less. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I don't know how long this can carry on before people start fucking retaliating and causing havoc, because the day I cannot wait for it to happen, because I'll be there at the fucking front. We need to do something, people. Go and sign that petition what I've put up today about fucking general election. Madness.
Poundland, why are you advertising a 20 pack of plastic cups when there's like 17 in them? I counted. And then I tried to go to the next one, there's 18 in them. Didn't count anymore because they all look the same height. Why are you advertising a 20 pack when there's 17 or 18? It's really not that hard to put 2 more in, or just advertise as an 18 pack. But that's really false advertising, and like, I don't really have a choice, I have to buy it. But like, it's very frustrating. Like, regardless, we're gonna buy it. Just be honest and put 18 pack on it.
What is actually going on in the world? Because a couple of weeks ago, I bought a fridge milkshake, which I swear to God used to be under £1. Not only this, but there's only 330 millilitres of milkshake in this bottle now. The bottle has quite literally shrunk in size. So for anybody that doesn't believe in the cost of living crisis, take a look. What on earth is going on in the House of Commons? £1.30 for 330 millilitres of milkshake. First it was Freddo's, and now fridge milkshakes are quite honestly shrinking. As you can see, my iPhone is quite literally taller than the bottle of milkshake. And I find the brand actually very sneaky because the original size of the bottles were 500 millilitres. It was then reduced to 471 millilitres, and then reduced again to 400 millilitres, before going right down to 330 millilitres in 2023. Now, I know that this is produced by Muller, so should we be taking a look at their other products as well? In 2019, there was an article released to say that their yogurts were 175 grams and now 160 grams. What the?
Okay, I love these bag salads, but there's nothing in there. Like, this is completely sealed. Completely sealed. There's nothing in there. And it says the serving size is 1 cup, 3 servings per container. Is that 3 cups? Or am I, like, losing my marbles? Like, look how much air is in this bag. Like, what the heck? This is literally like this is embarrassing. Like, there's literally nothing at the top. Like, that's all the lettuce that's in there. Dude.
So my kids were gifted these yesterday or the day before by a grandparent, and we were like, great, shall we make cookies? The kids were super up for making cookies, and I got started, and then I looked, I needed to see how much they weighed, so I needed 200 grams of chocolate for the cookies, and I turned this one over first and was like, oh, okay, yeah, 110 grams, great. Then I turned this one over and saw it only had 100 grams, and they were bought at the exact same time for the exact same price. I just thought I would show you how this is shrinkflation at its finest. It's so sneaky. Like, the Cadbury's have gone, oh, no one's going to notice 10 grams. We're going to charge the same price, but we are going to put 10 grams less in, and we can make more money. And honestly, it's things like this that really, really bug me. I just wanted you to let you know, when your grocery shopping is becoming more and more expensive, but you're like, it's not going as far, just remember, shrinkflation is such a real thing. And 10 grams, no, it may not be much. You may not really notice it, but when that's around all of your food, you are going to notice it. And it happens every single day in all of our foods, whether it's fruit and veg, whether it's meat, whether it's confectionery. Mostly it is confectionery, but even 10 grams, you may not notice, but over a period of time, them 10 grams add up, and they save the company billions of pounds, but they also mean that you are having to buy more to get the same amount of produce, to get the same amount of product. So I just thought this was so sneaky, and I was even holding them before I noticed the weight and was like, why does this one feel heavier than that one? I thought it was just in my imagination, because they looked, obviously we've opened them now, but they looked from the front close to exactly the same. There's a very slight colour difference that I'm noticing now. I just thought it was really interesting. Check your food, and please stop feeling so bad about your food bill going up so much, because you honestly have no control over it sometimes. This is one of the very many reasons I don't buy confectionery, because it's just so expensive for how much you get now. Cadbury's, sneaky.
More shrinkflation. Now, I have bought these for a very long day in the mountains tomorrow. Not that I have to justify myself, but I think a lot of us are familiar with these lovely bars, which used to be £1, and they're up to $1.25, and that's just the way it is. But then I noticed the till today, I got that, which is always my favourite, but I noticed at the till today they had, oh, this, slightly new packaging, smooth mint, new flavour. Oh, right, okay. Do you know what, I'll give that a try. So when I lifted it, I was in the bag, when I lifted it out of the bag at home, and I thought, I'm actually going to check. So the original bar, 135 grams. The new bar, 110. So you can be pretty sure that all of these ones with the paper and the foil, that packaging is probably going to start getting phased out. With this, you'll think it's just new packaging, but no, it's bloody smaller.
I was in Tesco today, and there's nothing that unusual about that, is it? Somebody doing their weekly shop. Sort of breeze through the chocolate aisle really quickly, because I'm not really eating chocolate at the moment, although I am partial to a certain quite small chocolate bar, and that is the old Curly Whirly. Now, it said new and improved, or new, or something like that anyway, and I thought, oh, right, okay, let's have a look. Let's see what is different and new about the Curly Whirlies. And what it is that they now come in a pack of 4 instead of a pack of 5 and a £1.45, whereas they used to be £1.20 for 5. Wow, what an absolute rip-off. Do people think we're absolutely stupid or something? What's going on? Awful.
I'll tell you something. I was watching this thing on Facebook before. It's called Audit in Britain. And this guy caught policemen, police ladies, catching a man stealing out the shops. And he had a jumper full of multi-pack of Twixes, the biggest Red Bull cans you can get. I don't know how he got so much down his jumper. But you know what? He looked like a nice man. Polite. He looked like he'd been through a hard time. Didn't look homeless, but didn't look, well off. So it's probably in between the both. What I'm trying to say here is that's going to happen a hell of a lot more in this country. What the fuck do they expect? What do they expect? Prices going as high as they are, people losing jobs, inflation, blah, 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 blah. Keep hiking the prices up. Tell you what, we're going to hike the prices up, and we're also going to give you 1 bin collection a month now. Yeah, you do all your recycling. We're going to put the council tax up though. We're going to put that up. Yeah, we're going to put that up. But this guy had so much stuff in his jumper, and he didn't know what to say. He was embarrassed, but also didn't care at the same time. They can't lock him up. They can't really arrest him. How are they going to arrest someone these days for doing that? When they release statements like, we've got to get people out the prisons to make room for serious offenders, or we've got no room in prisons, we're going to have to start releasing people. Another great tactic. And you just tell everyone that we're going to release all the naughty people from prisons, and then also that'll allow people to go, you know what, who gives a shit if I'm stealing stuff from the shops? Now, I don't know if you've seen this post, but all I'm saying is, right, it's going to get worse. The next 5-10 years time, you know, when people who've bought all their new houses now, these big cars, everything's on finance, everything's leased, everything's mortgaged up to the absolute eyeballs, and I'm not having a go at anyone, because we all want those things, and we all work for those things. But another 5 or 10 years time, a big percentage of them people are going to be hit hard. Going to be hit hard when them prices go higher, them interest rates rise, inflation, £4 for a Twix probably in a few years time, £5 for a can of Red Bull. That's the way it's fucking going. You know, what else do they fucking expect? Honestly. Have you seen that video or what?
I have a very quick public service announcement for anyone whose children are obsessed with these. Freddos. Now, we all know back in the 90s these were about 10p each. Our kids will only eat Freddos. They don't want any other sort of chocolate. If they want a chocolate treat, it's a Freddo every time. So we buy these a lot. In fact, in our Tesco order, I think we were the top 1% of the population for buying them. Anyway, we buy them a lot. Normally, they come as a pack of 5 for £1.40. I'm going to use Tesco as an example here. 5 Freddos, £1.40. Fine. Went to Tesco's yesterday, picked up a pack and went, oh, this looks a bit smaller. They've now reduced it to 4. Fine. Okay. Cost of living, shrinkflation, all of that. Not pleased about it, but it is what it is. My children won't survive without them. But then I turn round to the other side of the Tesco aisle where they have like I'm going to call it loose chocolate, you know, where you can just buy 1 or 2. One single Freddo on its own, 30p. And I thought, hold on. So if I buy 4 single loose Freddos, that's going to cost me £1.20. If I buy a multi-pack of 4, which theoretically multi-packs to me mean saving money, it will be 20p more expensive. This information may be useful for absolutely no one else other than myself, but if you're buying Freddos, don't buy them in a multi-pack, just buy them singly. Thank you. Goodbye.
Right, dears. So these are, well, some of my favourite biscuits. Okay, so like the chocolate almond, the biscuit, and it's all nice. And you used to get 9 biscuits in the packet. But of course, now they've changed the packaging. And it used to have like a wee little plastic tray in it, and you had 9 biscuits in it. There's now 8. And as you can see, there's clearly room for another biscuit. You dirty, evil, chocolate biscuit robbing bastards.
Aldi, could I have a word, please? I picked up some eggs the other day. Large. Definitely large. I asked for large eggs. I opened the carton to see how large these eggs are, and that's how big it is. Now, I'm not being funny, but that looks like a small egg. Not even a medium, a small egg. What in the world has gone on with Aldi? On top of that, I'm doing my son a ham toasty, and the ham was so wafer thin, when I was peeling them apart, I was just ripping to pieces because they were that thin. Honestly, you would think that Aldi was running out of money and they were going bankrupt, but they're not. They're making a fortune and the prices are increasing, so why are they trying to scam us? Dude, that is not a large egg. That's a medium. No, that's a small egg. That's a small egg. Change the carton to small because that is not a large egg. On top of that, look at these meat sticks. Look.
Where's the rest, mate? Where's the rest? I noticed recently that the size of the toothpaste seems to be shrinking. Like this, for example, it looks extremely tiny. And in comparison, here's the box. And yeah, it does look really, really small. I thought nothing of it until today when I opened it up. And yeah, it looks absolutely dinky. When Cadbury's were shrinking the chocolate bars, they use the excuse of, to minimize sugar intake for kids to promote healthiness. Same with the pastries, making them smaller to reduce the fat content to promote a healthier lifestyle. But where's the benefit of having a smaller toothpaste? Or where's the benefit in that? It's all one blatant con to make more money. Honestly, the shrinkflation business is just pathetic. Everywhere you turn, you literally get less for your money.
Right, mate, we're snacking the shelf, so I can't do my usual. What I'll do, I'll buy 2 of these and take them home just to show you what I'm talking about. Bastards. Okay. So here's the point I'm trying to make. We undo this, and undo this one, pour this in. You'll see how empty these are. It's quite deceiving to people because they can get a cheaper brand what's more full. As you can see, I've almost done a quarter of this. It's still going like a good one. There you go. That's what Robin Bastard's Persil are. And as you see where the finger is there, that's how much left. So that's what Robin Bastards they are. It's a joke really, isn't it?
Let's be honest, shrinkflation is one of the most insulting parts of this cost of living crisis. It's not just that prices are going up. It's not just that we're being charged more. They're actually giving us less and pretending nothing's changed. And the worst part, it all happens in silence. No headlines, no big announcements, no sorry from anyone. One day your favorite chocolate bar is full-sized. Then, bam. Next week it's smaller, lighter, but somehow more expensive. But the wrapping? Oh, that stays exactly the same. Still shouting great value in bold letters, trying to make you feel crazy for even noticing. This isn't about supply chains or inflation. This is pure corporate greed, a sneaky move to keep profits high while acting like they're just dealing with the market. They hope if they shrink the product just enough, we won't catch on. But we do. Every time we open a pack and find more air than actual product. Every time a family size shrinks to fun size, but the price sure doesn't get any funnier. We live in a place where loyalty gets punished and honesty is buried deep. Brands used to fight to give us more for our money. Now they're competing to see who can rip us off without anyone noticing. And the moral gaslighting, that's the worst. Oh, it's still the same quality. It's just a little change. People won't mind. It's good for the environment. Less packaging waste. Please, spare us the PR crap. You're not saving the planet. You're just saving face while robbing us blind. Want to talk about waste? Let's talk about the trust we've thrown away supporting these brands for years, only for them to treat us like mugs the moment things get tough. And the government? Silent, as usual. No rules, no consequences, no protection. Just market freedom, which basically means you get ripped off, they get richer. This isn't just about chocolate or cereal anymore. It's about everyday people being nickel and dimed into poverty, one sneaky cut at a time. Because when you add it up, it's not just one chocolate bar. It's your washing powder, your toilet roll, your toothpaste, your bread, your butter, all getting smaller and costing more. And the people paying for this? Working families, pensioners, students, carers. We're tightening belts, budgeting every penny, skipping meals, skipping holidays, turning down the heating. Meanwhile, the companies, posting record profits and patting themselves on the back. What happened to basic decency? What happened to a fair deal? We're not asking for fancy stuff or handouts. We just want to stop getting ripped off every time we shop. Because shrinkflation isn't just about weight or volume. It's about losing trust, dignity, respect. This is Britain in 2025. You pay more, you get less. And when you complain, they tell you to tighten your belt. even though it's already on its last hole. Well, we've had enough. Shrinkflation is a scam, robbery in slow motion. And it's time we call it out. Loud, proud, and unapologetic. So if you've been mugged by a multi-pack that's now a duo pack, if you've opened a bag of crisps that's mostly just air, if you've paid full price for half a product, tell us in the comments, name and shame the brands, because they won't stop unless we push back with our voices, our wallets, and our fury. If you're fed up being treated like a walking ATM, hit subscribe. On Brit Rants, we're not staying quiet. We're calling it the con it is, and we're not letting them shrink our voices while they shrink our food. See you next time.